Hey guys, it's Godbars here, the self-proclaimed hip-hop historian, and this is the 268th episode of my series, where I grab a vinyl from my collection, talk about why I love it, what influence it has, and what its place is in the grand scheme of hip-hop. So here we have a personal favorite that definitely may have blown under your radar if you're a 90s hip-hop fan, especially if you weren't tuned into the underground alternative scenes often dubbed as backpacker rap by more contemporary fans. At least back in the day, you don't really hear that term as much anymore. However, today's pick, 1999's The Taste of Rain, Why Kneel by Deep Puddle Dynamics, really pushed the limits of experimental rap music and helped establish arguably the most important and revolutionary label in avant-garde hip-hop, that being Anticon. While the legendary outfit would move on to releasing alternative rock and other genres for the most part, the early days were littered with underground masterpieces, like Selling Live Water by Soul, or the self-titled debut by Cloud Dead, which I've actually covered on the channel before, and I'll leave a link for that in the description. One of the members from that innovative trio, Dose One, was actually in Deep Puddle Dynamics here, as was Soul, the late legend Alias, and Slug of Atmosphere, who on top of taking part in both of those acts, also had a big role in groups like the Dino Spectrum, and he was one half of the duo Felt with fellow underground titan Murs. I love how all four of the members in this collective have completely different styles, voices, and personalities, yet they all seem to be on the same page thematically and fit snugly alongside each other on every track, without having to compromise their personal sounds and tastes in the slightest. In fact, the juxtaposition between each MC makes it insanely easy to tell who's rapping at any given moment, and everyone involved is insanely witty, clever, and at times abstract with their lyricism, which if you're a regular watcher of this channel, you know is a style I'm a sucker for. In terms of production, I would actually say it's some of the more accessible in the grand scheme of Anticon's discography, but while it's hard to say how you'll feel about any given member, considering no two of them sound remotely alike, there are certain more experimental aspects that I could see taking a while to adapt to, or just being more of an acquired taste in general. The first moment that comes to mind for me in that department is actually at the end of the killer opening track, where Slug, Alias, Dose One, and Soul all sing this twisted, warped rendition of Row, Row, Row Your Boat. Except they all start at different times, which leads to this dizzying effect of everyone's vocals being layered on top of each other, yet nobody is in sync. However, while the melody and musical reference is instantly recognizable to anyone and everyone who's ever been a baby, Deep Puddle Dynamics do flip the script a bit on the words, changing them to row, row, row your reel gently down the stream, merrily, 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 life is but a sinking feeling. I want to stay on this opening track for a minute because it's actually one of, if not my favorite cuts on the entire LP, and even though every member of the crew gives a top-tier performance, I realistically can't share all of them. So I decided to go with the first two, as they're an absolutely stellar way to kick off this hour-long roller coaster ride. Plus, they aren't too long since the various MCs switch off pretty frequently on this song. Kicking it off is Slug, who brings poetic and vivid imagery as always, rapping, "Descending on the center from the outskirts of obscurity with a raised fist, symbolization of the urgency. Strength blowing kisses and winks towards adversity, subtle yet as vital as the ink on your currency." Then from there, taking the mic without a moment to waste is Soul, who honestly I rank up there with Breeze Bruin of Juggernauts as one of the most underrated flows in the entire history of hip-hop. But I'll delve a little deeper into that topic when I get around to reviewing a solo project from this legend in my next 2000s group. Here he delivers maybe my favorite verse on the whole track, rapping, "I'm currently spiraling, sinking, inking melatonin, toning government soft, naturally firmin, lost, fell off the edge of the whirlpool thoughts, intangible, in this civilization, lacing loud screams, slew attachment to parchment, in my apartment, we all wear yellow rubber jackets." Unfortunately, while Deep Puddle Dynamics and Anticon as a whole has been dissolved since the tragic death of Alias a few years back, their early work inspired millions of hip-hop fans who felt like they were on the outside looking in and didn't really have a place in the genre because they didn't look or sound a certain way. And The Taste of Rain, Why Neil was one of the very first releases that put the future underground titan on the map. Understandably, there aren't really any featured artists on this album, but we do have a small roster of dope Anticon producers who handled the insanely forward-thinking instrumentation, including Mood Swing 9, Gel, Alias, DJ Mayonnaise, DJ Abilities, and the other half of Atmosphere, Ant. When it comes to my honorable mentions on this one, I want to recommend tracks like Where the Wild Things Are, Thought vs. Action, June 26, 1998, I Am Hip Hop, Move the Crowd, June 26, 1999-Slight, June 26, 1999-Purpose, and Mothers of Invention. Then, with my top 3 favorite songs overall, I think I would have to choose Deep Puddle theme song, The Candle, and The Scarecrow Speaks. Thank you for watching my 268th video. Next up, we are returning to New York to cover a group so iconic they've already been featured on the page twice before. So check for that video, and if you enjoyed, be sure to like, subscribe, and let me know what your favorite moments are off this creative, artistic endeavor. Don't forget to have a great day, and I'll see you next time, okay? All